talk about the difference you see physically and otherwise in Rashawn Gary since last year?
I mean, Rashawn's always been a guy that's come in and worked his tail off every single day, and someone that always gets better each and every practice, and he's always trying to push himself to be the best player possible, and his expectations are really high.
What's on Brian Monet's camp so far?
Oh, it's been great to have Brian be a part of this group, and I know he's been out for a few games during the season, and just to have him back healthy and playing really great football is nice to have.
Mo, you guys lost a couple of close games last year. Have you changed how you practice late game situations at all, or maybe do things differently mentally, or is it the same?
I mean, practice for the most part has been the same. I mean, we switched up a few things in how we operate our practices, but those little things we try to work on throughout our practice and just try to make sure that we're finishing as hard as we can towards the end of our practices.
Mo, do you think a clear starting four is solidified or being solidified
For
the defensive line?
I think, we're definitely trying to find our four, but, most importantly, trying to find guys that can rotate and play, come sub in and be a part of that rotation and be a part of the defense, because it's really hard just to play 4 D linemen throughout an entire game.
How many guys do you feel comfortable with rotation-wise right now?
I think you always want to have a 2 deep that's pretty steady and can come in and not really have a drop in performance.
Who's working with you right now? Who's working with you the most?
I mean, mostly just me, Brian, Mike, some of the freshmen, and there's a lot of guys that are trying to compete for spots right now.
Are you playing both spots inside, or are you just playing one?
Oh yeah, I mean, I play both spots. I play nose or 3. It's kind of been what I've been doing since I've been here. So.
How much do you and Rashawn hang out together away from here as well?
I mean, me and Rashawn hang out all the time. We both try to push each other throughout our practices, and we're both really hard on each other and try to make sure that we're both playing up to our potential, because we both know that we can be great players when we play up to that potential.
Do you take him under your wing a little bit, or doesn't need somebody under his wing?
I mean, Rashawn's pretty self-motivated, but I mean, I'll tell him if he's not doing what he's supposed to, and just need more out of him to make plays and be that guy in our defense.
Is he ever too hard on himself at all? Always hype around him. It's been like that for years.
I mean, I feel like if you're a great player, you'll always be sort of tough on yourself and always have really high expectations and get down when you don't meet those expectations.
What are your thoughts on this freshman class as a whole?
I think they're really good, really talented. There's a lot of really good freshmen that have come in, and it's just great to have some young guys and some fresh legs in there running around and making plays, even if they don't really understand what they're doing yet.
What freshman's impressing you the most?
I mean, I think a lot of them have been really impressive. A lot of the receivers, Peoples Jones has been really impressive, and Aubrey's been really impressive as a D lineman, and I think a lot of the young guys have been really, really impressive so far.
Well, we talked at the end of last year about how you were going to get more reps this year. You're going to be one of those guys that can stay on the field. Have you changed your body a lot this offseason to prepare for that, or done anything for that?
I mean, just focusing on eating healthier and just trying to get down in body fat while maintaining the same weight. So that's kind of been my biggest thing during the off season.
What's the anticipation been like for you as opposed to years past, where now you can be out there, you can be an every down player at this point?
Just realizing when I hit that tire point that I have to be able to keep going and keep being able to play and be productive.
Is that mental?
Yeah, a lot of it's mental, and a lot of it's just keeping your body in that type of shape and being able to perform in those type of situations.
What have you seen from Mike Holmgren so far?
I mean, Mike's been great. He was one guy that really stood out sort of during summer and spring, and he's just someone who's always been really athletically talented, and I think he's someone that will really be able to help us this upcoming season.
Mo, have you noticed the quarterback competition at all, and anything I know you're not going to say who's played better than everybody. You probably say everybody's equal, but have you noticed the competition in terms of how they've been attacking it?
I mean, I honestly have no idea what's going on with the quarterback competition. If I said something, I'd probably be wrong. I have no idea what's going on. I just kind of line up and focus on our defense.
And from the outside, so many great players left the defensive line. We figure there'd be a drop-off. From the inside, no drop-off. Has to be a drop. What do you think?
I think it all depends on how prepared we are these next 3 weeks, and if we have a two deep and if we're able to rotate, I think we'll be a really great D-line. And, yeah, I mean, it's hard to replace those guys that were great players like Chris and Ryan and Taco and Godin. I mean, there are some really great players on our D-line, and, I mean, it's tough to replace them. So I don't know if there's going to be drop-off. I mean, we'll really have to wait and see once the season starts.
Any early impressions of James Hudson?
I mean, I've seen James a few times during practice. He's been someone who's also really athletically talented. The guys that have come in have been, really impressive from the start, just being able to run and move really well. And that's what's impressed me most, is just because those such big guys are moving really well on our D-line.
Someone like Rashawn, who's going to get so much attention from the outside, does he seem to have the personality to handle that, not get blown away by it?
Yeah, I mean, Rashawn's a great, high-character guy. He just comes from a great family, and I think he's really able to, sort of put off those distractions and really focus on what he wants to accomplish.
You talked about Brian earlier. I mean, was it tough watching him has it been tough his whole career, really, watching him go in and out of the lineup as he has?
Yeah, I mean, it's always tough to see one of your friends go down and not be able to play with you and see how much that sort of hurts him. And, I mean, it's just nice to have him back out there and being able to compete with us. And, I mean, he loves it, and it's just really great to be able to play with him again.
Honest assessment of the revamped offensive line.
I mean, they're doing great. The O-line has been probably the most improved position group so far for us, and I think they're really developing some depth with some of the younger guys that have just got in. So,
Who are some of those younger guys that are battling them, especially on the right side?
I mean, like Ruiz was here in the spring, and I mean, there's some of the other young guys that have been really good. I mean, there's been guys that are like third-year players, like Runyon and Elizio have been both really impressive so far this camp.
As defensive linemen, do you guys think you'll have friendly sack total competition?
Yeah, I mean, we're always trying to compete for sacks, and that's something that we always put an emphasis on in our room, and being able to get to the quarterback and also being able to stop the run, most importantly. But, yeah, I mean, we always have fun trying to get home to the quarterback.
You said the lines. Who will lead the defensive line in sacks, you think?
I don't know yet. We'll wait and see. I mean, I'm trying to, but we'll wait and see.
You better claim it.
You said the line's improved. How so? Like, is it more athletic? The offensive line, that is.
I think they're just really starting to grasp the offense, and I think being able to be in sort of the same system for, a year and kind of just understand what the coaches expect and sort of understand what their assignments are, and being with the same O-line coach for a couple of years now has really helped them. And, I mean, it's done the same thing with us being with Coach Brown for a couple of years. And I think that's the most important, because since I've been here, we've sort of rotated throughout defenses and offensive coordinators and offensive line coaches. So just having that sort of steadiness has helped us a lot.
With such a young defense, how valuable is leadership going to be this year? Whether it's yourself, Tyreek Hill, Chase Winovich, how valuable will leadership be? I
mean, it's everything. There's a lot of young guys, and a lot of young guys need guidance a lot of the time. Even if it's not with football, it's with school or it's with life in general. So just being able to be someone who's there for them when they're sort of going through something, and during camp can be a tough time just because you're here all the time, and you're away from home for the first time. So, I mean, it's really tough for some of the younger guys, and just trying to be there for them, trying to be that sort of voice of reason for them. And it's something that's really important for, freshmen to come in.
How much do you feed off Coach Brown's enthusiasm for this defense? He has all the confidence in the world that you guys will be good again.
I mean, I love Coach Brown. He's my favorite coach I've had since I think I've been playing football. So, I mean, just being able to have him as my coach has been, a blessing. And, you always want to play great for Coach Brown, and you want to always give him all you have.
Mo, you mentioned Aubrey Solomon as being a guy who's really impressed. What have you seen from him, and what's been so impressive about him as a freshman?
I mean, just his speed and strength. Just being a young guy has been, really impressive, and he's someone who's probably going to be able to come in and help us, right away.
Was that video of him going up and kind of just, shedding his block and getting on the running back? Is that something you're seeing from him quite often so far?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's something that we constantly work on as a D-line, and it's something that we try to emphasize, getting off blocks and making plays. So, I mean, it's something that we try to do all the time.
Ruiz is not your typical freshman, I assume?
I mean, Caesar's a really great player, and I think he's someone who's going to be really good. down the line, he's someone that's definitely getting better, you know, every practice and every snap that he takes.
Do you like this new practice schedule? I mean, do you guys feel fresher?
I don't know. It kind of feels the same. I mean, they gave us a day off every week, but they added a week to the, you know, schedule. So it's kind of one and the same, I think, for the most part.
Coach Brown talked about challenge you guys at every practice. So what's the biggest challenge for today?
I think just being able to communicate, being a really young team, you know, sometimes you struggle with communication, and I think that's sort of our biggest thing is just being able to communicate and being able to get lined up because, I mean, that's probably the biggest thing that we have had trouble with so far.
So do you think the arrow's pointing up with that?
Yeah, I definitely think the arrow was pointing up. I mean, Coach Brown asked us today, and we told him we definitely think that it's going up, and hopefully it'll continue going up for us.
Mo, has Madison attached a freshman to your hip this year? I know Rashawn called like taco and wormed me around all over the place last year. Do you have a protege at this point? Any of those young guys?
You know, I'm pretty old now, so you know, I try to be, you know, somewhat of an older figure for, you know, all of the young guys. I mean, I have about 5 years on most of them, so you know, I just try to be someone that they can always talk to and communicate with, and whenever they need anything, always.
So you're not being picky, just all of them?
Yeah, I just grab them all. Yeah.